This is the Marketplace. You welcome back. Now, rise above all the numerous challenges and take your rightful positions at the job place. That's the advice coming from former Deputy Finance Minister Mona Quartey as International Women's Day is celebrated today. A lot of women are still struggling to get the recognition for their work done despite their outstanding contributions. But former Deputy Finance Minister Madam Quartey says this is not the time to give up despite all the numerous challenges.
Day to remind us women that we have a lot of strength inside us. It's a day to remind us to put away all our fears and to become confident and bold to make changes. And that's why the theme this year is bold, be bold for change. So no matter where you are, whether you are in school, whether you are unemployed, whether you're working in the market, whether you're in the workplace, the important thing is to be bold and to be confident. Don't let what anyone says make you feel less a person. Being a woman makes you an even more important partner in economic growth in any way at all. You know, it's not always that you need to work for someone. You can work for yourself. I encourage a lot of young women to consider courses and vocations that help them to work for themselves. You may start out life working for someone, but eventually you must end up working for yourself. There is no greater freedom like the one where you work for yourself, earn enough income to take care of yourself, and then you have a voice in society, which is very important because you must be able to help make changes in society. Ghana is an emerging country. We are a lower middle income country now, so there is still a lot of room for improvement. Let us make sure that as women, no matter where we are coming from, no matter our background, that we are part of that change. We make that change happen by being confident, by being strong, by being wise, being an entrepreneur. Look for opportunities that you can control and be in charge of, which can still help you to earn a good income to achieve your financial freedom.
One would ask that being a female among a sector that was dominated by men, and Deputy Minister of Finance, a very critical area. How easy or how challenging was it for you as a woman in this area?
Well, first and foremost, I came to the job with a wealth of experience in the private sector and a pseudo-public sector when I worked with Ashanti Goldfields before it got listed. So I came to the job with a wealth of experience, not only that, but also with knowledge, because I had been trained in the finance industry and I had gained experience. So I had that. But more importantly, I had the confidence and I had the strength, knowing absolutely that this job was a job that I could do. And I was able to execute that to the best of my ability. And that is an important thing for all young girls coming up there. Do the best that you can. And I assure you that God will do the rest. But don't get fearful and don't start backtracking. Do your best. Ask other people. Learn from other people. Find a mentor. Talk to them. So for me, going into the public sector, which is of course much bigger than the private sector, and you must think nationwide, it helped me to think broadly, and I wasn't afraid to do that. I was bold and I went into it. I was confident and I used the skills that I had learned along the way. Please never forget that you've learned a lot of skills and you should use them, and I used them.
Meanwhile, the former deputy minister is advocating more women to be appointed into state institutions of the country. This, according to her, will bridge the gap between men and women managing the affairs of the nation. Quartey made the remarks on the International Women's Day special edition of the Joy Super Morning Show on Joy FM today, which was hosted by wife of Vice President Samira Bawumia. She therefore asked women to upgrade themselves and be abreast of economic issues in society.
I just want to add that even as we put women into the very top in policy areas, we should Ghana in particular start to put women as chief executives into the lower levels. So I'm talking about the state-owned enterprises and so forth, and we will be surprised at the change that we'll see. We should start seeing women at heads of institutional levels, and we'll see wonderful positive change. I want to see a woman at SNIT. I want to see a woman at State Housing. You know, we want to see women leading those institutions, because those institutions make the profit and the revenue for this nation, and women are good revenue makers.
And as we've learned today, when women are at the helm, the profit is more.
We want to see a woman at the Ghana Revenue Authority heading that institution.
Yes,
we manage resources better.
Oh, obviously, we shop a lot.
Make an effort to understand. Now, this doesn't need a PhD or to be born into a rich family. At any level that you are at, be aware. Try to understand the dynamics of what is going on wherever you are. Be wise about it. And then once we have all these resources at our hands, gain knowledge and use that knowledge to translate and improve your life so that you are bold to make a change. I want to speak to financial inclusion. That is something that in Ghana we've spoken about for a long time. The fact that we don't have enough people in the banking system or people banking and so forth. It helps to build your credit history. It helps you to be able to have access to credit facility, because no one has all the money in the world to do what they want to do.
Of course,
but it gives you that. Financial freedom helps you to educate yourself, to grow a business, your children and your family.
That was the former Deputy Finance Minister Mona Quartey. Now, overcoming hurdles in the corporate world can be very challenging for today's women. They don't only have to deal with meeting the various corporate targets, but struggle to be given what they are due just because of their gender. So as we celebrate International Women's Day today, we find out what can be done to deal with this challenge. Lucy Quest is the Chief Executive of Airtel Ghana.
I think being in charge of a company, all of it, from a professional point of view, the number one challenge you face is that you have to have the versatility, the breadth and the depth as a corporate person, from your skills, your knowledge, your flexibility, your adaptability point of view, to manage so many different things at the same time. Because remember, as a CEO, if there's something going on in marketing, I'm part of it. If there's something going on in sales, I'm part of it. If there's a regulatory issue, I'm in there. If there's a network issue, I'm in there. So you kind of really have to be able to go right across and into issues. And I think that anyone who's thinking of becoming a CEO, male or female actually, needs to be willing to be able to have this real stretch of their capacity and their ability as a professional. Specifically, as a woman, some of the challenges around, we've spoken about expectations of some people about what women can do. For me, I believe that other people's bias is really not my problem. I don't need to plan or behave based on other people's bias. But then there are real challenges that you have to juggle. You know, I have young children at home. Well, some of them don't think they're young any longer, especially the one who's as tall as I am. So you have children growing up, you have a family, you have a husband, you have relatives who depend on you. And sometimes that juggling act can be challenging. People like to focus on this phrase about whether as women professionals we can have it all. I think the definition of all probably is fundamentally flawed. We have to allow women to define what their all is.
Let's still focus more on women because it's their day-to-day. And bamboo is a common plant in Ghana and yet it's woefully underutilized. One woman is changing the trend. Bernice Dapar founded the Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative to use Ghanaian bamboos to manufacture bicycles at the age of 20 years. She's now creating jobs for other young people and helping check climate change. Apart from selling their produce around the world, the Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative also donates bamboo bikes to school children so they could commute to school. Justice Bedu highlights some challenges and opportunities of being a woman in Ghana.
My name is Bernice Dapar, the Executive Director of Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative. This is where we use bamboo to manufacture bicycles. So attractive. Sometimes when I say we use bamboo to manufacture bicycle, people think I'm crazy. You can see our gentleman is also working on the production of the frame. They are cutting it, make it in a different shape, very, very nice and attractive. That's what our scientists is also doing. This is the multi-purpose machine we use for the cutting of most of our basic materials like this, the steel tube. You can see our lady doing the marvelous work here, doing the cutting and everything, which is so attractive. So this machine does a lot of work for us. This is where most of the filing is being done. This is the raw process that they are doing. This is very, very hard work, but the guys are so committed and they are doing the work for us as economic empowerment for them. And as you can see, most of the lady and the guy too is doing the finishing process. We're hoping to broaden our scope to different communities, which we can retain them and also create them as alternative livelihood for them.
My name is Alibatu Saadia, a product of Ghana Bamboo Bikes. I'm really happy to join this initiative because I was a school dropout. It has helped a lot of less privileged people. People walk miles from their house to school, and this initiative is really helping them because we are able to donate a lot of bicycles to them to make things easier for them.
Why are you using bamboo? Because we have a lot of bamboos in our country that is going underutilized. So we want to see how best we can change the face of using bamboo by cultivating, going into production, and even diversifying our production for both local and international platforms. The single bamboo plant that we harvest for production, we plant not more than 10 bamboo species, which also help us to mitigate climate change issues. Because as you know, bamboo contains a lot of oxygen that balances the carbon dioxide. The 1 hectare bamboo plantation that we plant not at least 250 bamboo species.
This used to be a dream for all the boys in Korea when I was young, because we couldn't afford even a bicycle. Now this is a good way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
And the good thing is, so these are made in Ghana. They're made out of bamboo. They're made by women. They're fantastic, and the women are teaching other women to make these bamboo bikes out of and to make them and then sell them so that they have another income for themselves.
I say enka na first ko bi twa mpampuro na bi orikoye TV pool ana se bia orikoyi orikosi abrosan a yedi sisi ase a ikukwan ketukusu but say hu say mfasho abamu ama etimi de bicycle a mfasho abamu say etimi de phone body no ma bebre a mpampuro ere say bambu omutimi ediye nti hu say mfasho abamu ama say yena nanka yenya adwuma yezo aboa yen ama say yanya juma yeye na mnimse dudu a yewo ha nyina no ebediru babi no numbers no kura ebe increase achen dudu a yeden yewo ha no
se ba na ye ni ejule bia ye se no ha na aboa ye se be kakra no o mu twa nu agu ti enya nu a ye be bodan so etumi di bodan so omutumi die lazy chair omudie table ne niema bebre.
I want to become a medical doctor.
I want to become a teacher. Become a doctor.
It helped me to come to school early. And also, if my father sends me, I can go and come back earlier.
A boy me say first me be school me late teacher. They say they me bantem. My papa's mama me team the cook.
All right, so that was a wonderful feature there by Justice Bedu, and we want to use this opportunity to celebrate all women as they celebrate, or as we mark International Women's Day, and especially women who are making giant strides in the world of business. Now, moving on, it's become very pretty obvious that the country needs to invest in new technology to boost productivity in the agri sector. The current government has therefore made it a priority to enable it effectively achieve its agenda of using agri to transform the economy and create more jobs. However, there's one entrepreneur who is already leading the way. He's Kwabna Opeja Amwating, CEO of the 2016 GIPC Company of the Future. Mr. Amwating will be letting us in his entrepreneurial journey later this afternoon on the Joy Business Fund. Here are excerpts of the program.
His father wanted him to be a doctor. His mother thought he would make a perfect lawyer. But growing up, Kwabna Opeja Amwating was passionate about one thing: doing business. While in high school, Kwabna decided to explore business opportunities. So he started a fruit juice retail business. Later, he decided to try photography. Kwabna was raised up in a farming community called Bumpata in the Ashanti region. Over the years, he would watch people in his community go through the tiresome process of manually cultivating their farms.
I realized how people are suffering in the area, especially in my village, how people need to suffer. You need to climb a huge mountain. And I realized, come on, how this thing, is there any other way that we can do to solve this? Because at the end of the day, if you start as a young guy going through such a routine, by the time you're about 45 or 40, you're almost weak.
So remember, make a date for the full story on the Joy Business Fund later tonight at 5 p.m. Now, moving on, the European Union has allocated 43 million euros to support Ghana's youth employment program beginning next year. Announcing the initiative in Accra, the EU ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency William Hanna, noted this is part of Europe's support for the country's Beyond Aid agenda that has been highlighted by President Akufo-Addo on several platforms. The EU ambassador is confident the initiative will go a long way to help Ghana curb its employment challenges.
Going beyond, I think one of the key things that we found very interesting, listening to what's being said and listening to the priorities, is the question of jobs and job creation. I mean, this has come out as a key theme. In the new government is talking about job creation and putting it up as a top priority. And this is very similar to what we're hearing within Europe. And within Europe, the number one, I think the number one topic, or one of the top topics, is jobs for young people in Europe, and it's the same thing in Ghana. So there's a connection here, and we feel that it's right that, you know, when it's a priority in Europe and it's a priority here, then this is something we can work together on, and we are working in that area already. We have employment programs, technical vocational programs. I went to Kumasi recently and launched an extension of our technical vocational training, which I think is really, really crucial. And we're working with Germany. We're working with one of our member states. So they have a very experienced system of technical and vocational training in Germany, and so we're putting more money behind that. And that's one of the things that we're doing. And we're preparing a new youth employment program for 43 million euros. That's a program which we're preparing to launch next year, and we're already doing the preparation for that. So youth employment is something which we agree is a priority.
Meanwhile, His Excellency William Hanna has asked Ghanaian businesses to take advantage of the Economic Partnership Agreement to maximize their potential. According to him, the EPA, which Ghana and some other countries have signed, is the best trade deal in the world.
It is an extremely good deal. It is a deal that was negotiated over a long time, and it's 100% of agriculture, 100% of manufactured. That's the deal for the European market. There is no, you can't get 100%, 10%. I mean, there are no duties. There are no duties at all. So that is a better deal than, for example, other middle-income countries get. Other middle-income countries face tariffs. Ghana does not and won't because of that deal. So the deal is good. The question is, the deal doesn't make trade happen. I mean, if trade is done by businesses. Trade is done by businesses trading. And there's the question. There's the question of how to develop that, how to see that market is available. The other thing that needs to be looked at also is that this is we're still pushing for the wider economic partnership agreement with ECOWAS. And so, using ECOWAS, breaking down the barriers in the local market is also extremely important. Ghana should trade more with its partners as well as trading with the European Union. But the deal is, I say, the best one, but how can Ghana get more out of it? It still has to use the deal to attract investors and itself to invest in the areas of added value. There is huge demand in Europe for products from Ghana. Absolutely huge. Huge demand.
And that brings us to the end of yet another edition of The Marketplace. Thank you very much for watching, and we say kudos to all women in Ghana and around the world as we celebrate International Women's Day. My name is Emmanuel Apwaji. Let's meet again tomorrow for another edition. Good afternoon.